Why is it that when you chase she pulls away, but when you pull back she suddenly leans in? Why is it that the very act of giving less makes her want more? The truth is simple. Abundance kills desire. Scarcity fuels it. When you're always available, always texting first, always pouring energy into her, she has no reason to value it. You've made yourself too easy to reach. But the moment you step back, the moment you stop giving freely, you trigger something deep in her psychology. An instinct that makes her want to chase what she fears she's losing. This is where Stoic masculinity comes alive. A Stoic man doesn't beg. He doesn't cling. He doesn't sacrifice his dignity for attention. Instead, he practices restraint. He pulls back not out of spite but out of strength, because he knows that his worth is not proven through pursuit, but through discipline. And that discipline creates a gravitational pull no words ever could. Picture a man who chases endlessly. He gives his time, his energy, his focus. Yet the more he gives, the less she respects him. Why? Because deep down people crave what feels scarce. She can't desire what she feels she already controls. But imagine that same man pulling back, stopping the constant texts, no longer dropping everything for her, redirecting his focus to himself. Suddenly the silence weighs on her. Suddenly she begins to notice the absence she once ignored. And slowly the dynamic shifts. The one who is chased becomes the one who is chased. Dark psychology confirms this truth through the law of scarcity and the psychology of uncertainty. People are drawn to what they don't fully understand, to what they might lose, to what isn't guaranteed. And Stoicism teaches why this works. Because self-mastery, emotional control, patience, restraint is more attractive than anything you could ever say. The man who pulls back proves he is not ruled by his impulses. He proves he doesn't need her validation. And that paradoxically makes her want him more. So remember this. Chasing creates distance. Pulling back creates desire. When you stop running after her, you create the space where her curiosity, her doubt, and her need begin to work in your favor. And that's when the chase begins. Not yours, but hers. If you're ready to master this truth, if you're ready to pull back and let her feel your absence, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My pullback is my power. Number 1, the trap of chasing. Chasing feels natural. You like her, so you call, you text, you make yourself available. You think that the more effort you put in, the more she'll see your value. But the brutal truth is this. The harder you chase, the further she runs. Chasing doesn't create attraction. It destroys it. Because what you're really telling her is my time, my attention, my presence, all of it is yours without question. And nothing loses value faster than something given too easily. The Stoics warned against this loss of control. Epictetus said, "He who craves something that isn't his makes himself a slave." That's exactly what chasing does. You hand her the keys to your emotions. You make her the center of your world. And whether she admits it or not, she feels it. She feels your desperation. And desperation kills respect. Dark psychology explains it through predictability. When you're always the one reaching out, always the one making plans, always the one proving yourself, she knows exactly where you stand beneath her. There's no mystery, no tension, no reason for her to invest. Why would she chase when you're already running full speed in her direction? But here's the twist. The less you chase, the more space you give her to wonder. The more you pull back, the more her mind begins to shift. Because attraction isn't built through overexposure, it's built through restraint. And the man who doesn't chase proves something powerful. He values himself too much to beg for attention. The trap of chasing is simple. You think it makes her want you, but all it does is push her away. The moment you stop, the moment you reclaim your power, the dynamic flips. Because the man who refuses to chase is the man she can't stop thinking about. If you're ready to stop running after and start standing tall, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I refuse the trap of chasing. Number 2, the power of restraint. Restraint is not weakness, it's strength. Any man can react. Any man can text 20 times in a row, beg for attention, or try to prove himself worthy. But the man who restrains himself, who pulls back instead of pushing forward, radiates a different kind of power. The quiet, unshakable power of self-control. The Stoics built their lives around this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Restraint is proof that you live by this law. You don't try to control her feelings, her actions, or her choices. You only control yourself, your reactions, your presence, your energy. And nothing is more attractive than a man who does not hand his emotions over to someone else. Dark psychology calls this withholding the reward. The less you give, the more it's desired. When you stop flooding her with attention, when you pull back from constant availability, her mind begins to crave what it once dismissed. Restraint flips the script. Suddenly, you're no longer the one chasing her approval. She's the one seeking yours. Restraint also communicates something primal: patience. And patience is a signal of abundance. It says you're not desperate. It says you don't need her validation to feel whole. It says, I am a man who chooses carefully, not a man who settles quickly. And women can sense that difference instantly. The power of restraint lies in this simple truth. While other men chase endlessly, you create distance, and distance creates desire. By holding back, you don't lose her. You give her the space to come running back to you. If you're ready to stop giving yourself away and start wielding the power of restraint, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Restraint is my strength. Number 3, absence creates desire. Absence is not a weakness, it's a weapon. When you step back, when you stop giving her constant access to you, something powerful happens. She begins to feel your absence. At first, she may enjoy the freedom. She may even believe she doesn't miss you. But as time passes, the silence grows heavier. The texts she used to ignore are no longer there. The attention she once dismissed has vanished. And that emptiness forces her to feel something she never expected: desire. The Stoics knew this truth well. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If you're always available, your presence loses value. But when you're scarce, when your time and attention are limited, every moment with you becomes more precious. Absence makes her realize what presence once meant. Dark psychology explains it through loss aversion. Human beings feel the pain of loss more intensely than the pleasure of gain. When you pull back, she feels that loss. She may not admit it. She may cover it with pride or denial, but deep down the absence ignores at her. It creates curiosity. It plants doubt. It fuels regret. And eventually, it makes her chase what she once took for granted. Absence is not running away. It's standing still while she moves closer. It's showing that your life continues. Your growth continues. Your peace continues whether she's part of it or not. And that truth is magnetic because it proves you are whole without her. The man who is always there becomes invisible. The man who creates absence becomes unforgettable. If you're ready to stop flooding her with attention and start letting absence do the work, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence creates desire. Number 4, emotional control is irresistible. Emotional control is rare and rarity is irresistible. Most men collapse under the weight of their feelings. They lash out when ignored. They beg when she pulls away. They spiral when things don't go their way. But the man who can master his emotions, the man who remains calm, composed, and unshaken immediately separates himself from the rest. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength that is Stoic masculinity in its purest form. When she tests you with silence, when she tries to provoke a reaction, when she withholds affection, your power lies not in fighting back, but in standing still. You don't flinch. You don't crumble. You don't react. And that calmness speaks louder than any words ever could. Dark psychology explains this as the power shift. People crave control, and when they realize they can't move you emotionally, it triggers obsession. Your restraint becomes a challenge. Your silence becomes a puzzle. Your composure becomes a wall she can't climb. And the more she can't shake you, the more her mind becomes consumed with trying. Emotional control is not just attractive. It's magnetic. It signals strength, maturity, and abundance. It says, I am not ruled by you. I am ruled by myself. And that truth is intoxicating because it proves you're a man who doesn't need her validation to remain steady. The man who chases looks desperate. The man who reacts looks weak. But the man who controls himself, he becomes irresistible. If you're ready to master your emotions and let your calmness be your power, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My control makes me irresistible. Number 5. Silence speaks louder than words. Silence is not emptiness. It's a message. When you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop trying to convince her of your worth, your silence begins to speak louder than anything you could have said. Words can be twisted, ignored, or forgotten. But silence echoes in the mind. At first, she may think nothing of it. She may even feel relieved that you've gone quiet. But as the days stretch, as your absence lingers, silence grows heavier. Every unanswered message, every unreturned call, every moment without your voice forces her to ask questions she can't escape. Why isn't he reaching out? Did he lose interest? Has he moved on? Who has his attention now? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion, and silence is that principle in action. By choosing not to speak, you reveal control. You show her that you don't need to argue. You don't need to fight for validation. You are content in your stillness. And that stillness is unnerving because it proves she no longer has the power to pull you into her chaos." Dark psychology explains this through the Zeigarnik effect. The human mind obsesses over what is unfinished. Your silence is an unfinished story, a missing response, an unanswered question, and because she can't resolve it, her mind keeps circling back to you. Your silence becomes her obsession. The man who speaks too much becomes predictable. The man who goes silent becomes unforgettable. If you're ready to let your silence speak louder than words, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 6, detachment reverses the roles. The moment you detach, everything shifts. Before, she may have held the power, knowing you'd always call, always text, always show up no matter how she treated you. But when you step back, when you stop needing her validation, the entire dynamic flips. Detachment reverses the roles. Now she's the one questioning. She's the one wondering. She's the one checking her phone, replaying conversations, scanning your silence for clues. Because detachment sends a message louder than chasing ever could. I don't need you. I choose me. And nothing draws someone in faster than realizing the power they once had is gone. The Stoics lived by this principle. Epictetus said, "He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at." What he meant was simple. When you're no longer tied to someone else's approval, you become untouchable. Detachment is freedom, and freedom is power. Dark psychology calls this the reversal effect. Humans crave control, and when that control is taken away, the instinct is to chase it back. By detaching, you deny her the ability to move your emotions. And in that denial, you create scarcity, mystery, and doubt, all of which drive her deeper into pursuit. Detachment isn't cruelty. It isn't a game. It's discipline. It's the decision to value your peace over her attention. And once you do that, the balance of power shifts forever. She chases, not because you manipulated her, but because you finally stopped chasing her. If you're ready to flip the dynamic and let detachment reverse the roles, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Detachment gives me power. Number 7, the Stoic masculine frame. A woman doesn't chase chaos. She chases strength. And strength is found in the frame you hold. The Stoic masculine frame is calm, steady, and unshakable. It doesn't bend to moods. It doesn't crumble under pressure. And it doesn't get lost in endless chasing. Instead, it stands firm like a mountain, unmoved by storms, commanding respect through presence alone. When you chase, you step out of frame. You give away your power, signaling that her approval is more important than your dignity. But when you pull back, when you remain centered, you stay in your frame. And that frame is magnetic. Because women don't respect the man who needs them. They respect the man who doesn't. Marcus Aurelius embodied this truth when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The Stoic masculine frame is built on this foundation. You don't let rejection define you. You don't let her silence break you. You don't let emotions drag you off balance. Your frame is your fortress. And once you live inside it, you become untouchable. Dark psychology explains why this works. Humans are drawn to stability. In a world of uncertainty, the person who is steady becomes the anchor. And when she feels that anchor in you, calm, patient, self-assured, her instinct isn't to run. It's to chase. Because the man who doesn't need her becomes the man she wants most. Your frame is your power. Hold it, protect it, and never break it for validation. When you live as the Stoic masculine, you stop running after and start being pursued. If you're ready to lock into your frame and let her chase your strength, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My frame is my fortress. Number 8, mystery is magnetism. Predictability kills attraction. If she knows your every move, your every thought, your every emotion, there's no tension, no spark. But mystery is magnetic. The less she knows, the more her mind obsesses. The more questions you leave unanswered, the stronger her curiosity grows. And curiosity is the seed of obsession. When you chase, you give it all away. Your attention, your plans, your intentions. You leave no space for wonder. But when you pull back, when you keep parts of your life hidden, when you grow in silence, you create gravity. She begins to lean in, to search, to ask, to chase, not because you forced her to, but because mystery demands pursuit. The Stoics practiced this naturally. They lived rich inner lives grounded in philosophy and discipline, not in constant validation. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The more you build within yourself, the more mysterious you become to others because your life is no longer centered on proving yourself. It's centered on becoming yourself. And that inner richness radiates outward like an aura she can't ignore. Dark psychology explains this through the allure of uncertainty. The brain is addicted to puzzles, and mystery is a puzzle it can't put down. The more you detach, the more you grow in silence, the more unpredictable you become, the stronger the pull. Because what she cannot fully know, she cannot fully control. And what she cannot control, she begins to chase. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's about living in such a way that your life has depth, discipline, and direction beyond her. That depth becomes your magnet. If you're ready to let mystery do the chasing for you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My mystery is my magnet. Number 9, growth without her. Nothing creates regret and attraction like watching someone you thought you controlled grow without you. When you pull back, you're not just creating distance. You're creating space for transformation. You stop pouring all your energy into chasing her, and instead you redirect it into yourself. Your body sharpens, your mind strengthens, your purpose deepens, and while she's wondering where you went, you're becoming someone greater than she ever imagined. The Stoics believed this was the essence of strength. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Chasing her is a waste. Investing in yourself is power. Every hour you don't spend begging for her attention is an hour you can spend building yourself into a man no one can ignore. Dark psychology makes this even clearer. Comparison fuels regret. When she sees you thriving without her, whether directly or through whispers, rumors, or a glimpse of your progress, the weight of what she lost becomes unbearable. Because it's not just that you pulled back, it's that you rose higher. And the higher you rise, the more she feels the gap between who you were with her and who you've become without her. Growth without her is the sharpest response you can ever give. It doesn't require words, arguments, or revenge. It requires discipline. And discipline is more haunting than anything else. Because while she's stuck in the past, you're busy writing a future where she no longer belongs. If you're ready to turn distance into growth and let your evolution speak louder than your absence, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My growth is my answer. Number 10, the chase begins. The moment you stop chasing, the chase begins, but not on your side, on hers. Because pulling back flips the entire dynamic. You're no longer the man running after validation. You're the man standing firm, calm, and disciplined while she feels the silence pressing in on her. That's when her mind turns restless. That's when curiosity transforms into pursuit. That's when the hunter becomes the hunted. This is the paradox of Stoic masculinity. The less you need her, the more she needs you. The moment you detach, you show her something most men can't. Strength without desperation. And that strength is irresistible. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." You don't fight, you don't beg, you don't chase, you rise. And in rising, you create the very pull that makes her come to you. Dark psychology confirms what the Stoics already knew. Scarcity, mystery, and indifference fuel desire far more than constant pursuit. By pulling back, you plant seeds of uncertainty. You let absence do the talking. You give her space to feel the loss. And in that loss, the desire to chase. The final truth is this: the man who chases never wins. The man who pulls back, who restrains himself, who grows in silence, he becomes the prize. And prizes aren't pursued, they're chased. If you're ready to stop running and start standing, if you're ready to let her chase you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am the prize she chases. Attraction isn't built through chasing. It's built through pulling back. When you stop begging, stop proving, stop flooding her with attention, you force her to feel something she didn't expect. The weight of your absence. And in that absence, desire is born. Think about what we've uncovered. The trap of chasing, the power of restraint, the desire created by absence, the magnetism of emotional control, the echo of silence, the role reversal of detachment, the strength of the Stoic masculine frame, the pull of mystery, and the undeniable power of growth without her. All of it leads to one truth. The man who pulls back is the man who makes her chase. That's Stoicism. That's masculinity. That's power. Because while most men run themselves into the ground chasing validation, the Stoic man stands still, unshaken, untouchable. And that stillness is exactly what pulls her in. So stop running, stop proving, stop giving yourself away. Pull back, reclaim your frame, and watch what happens next. Because the moment you stop chasing, the chase doesn't end. It just begins. And this time it's her turn to run after you. If you're ready to step into your power, if you're ready to let her chase while you stand firm, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am the prize she chases. Thanks for watching The Stoic Tide.